Hello friends, welcome to the channel. In today's lecture, we will discuss the case of erythroblastosis fetalis or hemolytic disease of the newborn. In addition to this, we will have a descriptive introduction to the blood groups and Rh factor because an introductory knowledge of blood groups and Rh factor is mandatory for understanding the concept of erythroblastosis fetalis. Hello friends, so starting up with the lecture, erythroblastosis fetalis, this is also known as the hemolytic disease of the newborn or HDN. This is a disorder that usually results from the incompatibility between the maternal and fetal blood groups, often the Rho or the D antigens. Now before we discuss about the case of erythroblastosis, it becomes very important to have a basic understanding of the blood groups and Rh factor. So starting with the blood group, in the year 1900, Karl Landsteiner, he discovered that the RBCs of humans were not all antigenically alike. That means the RBCs of different humans possess different types of antigens. They are not all antigenically alike. Landsteiner reported 4 different immunological blood groups, that is the A blood group, the B blood group, the AB blood group and the O blood group. These blood groups were known as the ABO blood groups or Landsteiner blood groups. The ABO blood groups are genetically controlled, means they are controlled by the genes. The type A blood group has A antigens or the glycoproteins present on the RBCs. Similarly, the type B blood group has B antigens or glycoproteins present on the RBCs. Type AB blood group has both A and B antigens and therefore it is called as universal recipient because it has both A and B antigens. It can receive a blood from both a person having blood group A or a person having blood group B or a person having blood group AB. Similarly, type O blood group, it has neither the A antigen nor the B antigen. Therefore, it is called as universal donor because it can donate the blood to a person of any blood group, whether he has the A blood group or B blood group or OB blood group or the O blood group. The plasma in which the RBCs float contain different antibodies or the agglutinins. These antibodies have no effect on the RBCs of the same individual, but when mixed with the RBC antigens of a different blood type, the reaction may be fatal. This means that suppose a person is having blood group A. Therefore, his body will not make antibodies against his own blood group antigen, that is antigen A, but on the other hand it will make antibodies against the other antigen, that is the antigen B. Similarly, if a person is having blood group B, his body will not make antibodies against his own antigen B, but it will make antibodies against the other antigen A. Therefore, the universal rule of compatibility for blood transfusion is the recipient antibodies in the blood must not agglutinate the donor RBC antigens. Means, suppose a person is donating a blood to another person. In this case, the recipient body must not make antibodies against the blood of the donor. Now to better understand the blood groups, let us look into the ABO blood groups classification system. Here in the first column we have the antigen present on the RBCs. In the second column, we have antibody present in the serum, and the third column displays the blood group. So, suppose a person whose blood has antigen A present in the RBCs. In such person, his body will not make antibodies against his own antigen A, but it will make antibodies against the antigen B. And now his blood group will be blood group A. In the second case, suppose a person having blood has antigen B present on his RBCs. In such case, his body will not make antibodies against his own antigen B, but it will make antibodies against the antigen A, and therefore his blood group will be blood group B. In the third case, a person is having both the antigens A and antigen B in his blood. In this case, his body will not make antibody against any of the antigen because both the antigens are his own. In such case, the blood group of such a person will be blood group AB. In the last case, the person has none of the antigens in his blood, that is, he neither has A nor he has the B antigens in his blood. In such case, the person's body will make antibodies against both the antigens, that is, the antigen A and the antigen B. The blood group of such a person will be blood group O. Now coming to the Rh factor. The Rh factor is also known as rhesus factor because it was first discovered in the rhesus monkey. It is a complex of many antigen. That means the Rh factor is not a single antigen, it is a complex of many antigens. This is also known as D antigen. The Rh factor is also known as D antigen. In 1940, Landsteiner and Wiener discovered Rh factor when they observed that injecting rhesus monkey's blood into the rabbit's blood caused an antigenic reaction in the serum component of the rabbit's blood. When the blood from the humans was tested with the rabbit serum, the RBCs of about 85% of the humans tested agglutinated, and that means agglutinated means clumped together. And these RBCs contained the same factor as present in the rhesus monkey's blood. That is, the same factor was present in the rhesus monkey blood that was now found in the humans. So, such humans whose blood contained the Rh factor or the rhesus monkey's blood factor, these persons were called as Rh positive. Now, the blood of the remaining 15% of the person, it lacked the Rh factor. So, these persons whose blood lacked the Rh factor, they were termed as Rh negative person. So, this is a difference between the Rh positive and a Rh negative person, that the Rh positive person has the Rh antigen in its blood, whereas the Rh negative person lacks the Rh antigen in its blood. Therefore, the Rh antigen, it poses a danger for a Rh negative person who lacks the antigen if the Rh positive blood is given in transfusion. So, this sometimes becomes a dangerous situation if a person who is Rh negative is receiving a blood from a person who is Rh positive, because in such cases the body of the person who is Rh negative, it makes antibodies against the Rh factor antigens that is present in the donor's blood. So, this situation becomes fatal sometimes, and this is what happens in the case of erythroblastosis. Now coming directly to erythroblastosis fetalis, that is the hemolytic disease of the newborn or the HDN. So as we discussed that it is a disorder that usually results from the incompatibility between maternal and the fetal blood groups, often the Rho or the D antigens. It is a type of anemia in which the RBCs of the fetus are destroyed by the maternal antibodies in an immune response targeted against the fetus. So what happens in the case of erythroblastosis fetalis is that an Rh negative mother can conceive on Rh positive fetus if the father is Rh positive. Now during the delivery, the fetal RBCs may enter the maternal circulation due to leakage. As a result, the immune system of the mother generates antibodies against the fetal Rh factor bearing the RBCs. The firstborn is usually spared since the maternal antibodies are formed only after the delivery. If the mother again becomes pregnant with an Rh positive fetus, her antibodies can cross the placenta and attack the fetal RBCs, thereby causing a severe hemolytic anemia. The fetal bone marrow, it reacts to the hemolytic anemia by releasing the immature RBCs called erythroblasts into the fetal peripheral circulation, causing erythroblastosis fetalis. Now let us look into the figure. In case 1, we can see that the woman is Rh negative and the man is Rh positive. In such case, the Rh negative mother can conceive an Rh positive fetus. In case 2, the Rh negative mother conceives an Rh positive fetus because the father was Rh positive. In case 3, during delivery, the cells from Rh positive fetus enters the woman's bloodstream. Now in case 4, the woman becomes sensitized and antibodies are formed to fight Rh positive blood cells. In case 5, now there is a possibility that in case the mother becomes pregnant again with Rh positive fetus, maternal antibodies will cross the placenta and attack the fetal RBCs, thereby causing severe hemolytic anemia. Now this is when the fetal bone marrow reacts to the hemolytic anemia by releasing immature RBCs called erythroblasts into the fetal peripheral circulation, causing erythroblastosis fetalis. Treatment: if a baby experiences erythroblastosis fetalis in the womb, they may be given intrauterine blood transfusions to reduce anemia. When the baby's lungs and heart mature enough for delivery, a doctor may recommend delivering the baby early. That's all for the day today. Thank you.